Hello, I want to say a few words on nationalism. In 1995, the French president, François Mitterrand, made one of his last speeches. He made it in the European Parliament. He wanted to deliver a message that was obviously very important to him. He looked back on his own life and on European history in the 20th century. He was born during World War I and served as a sergeant in the French army in World War II. In 1940, he was a prisoner of war in Germany, but escaped and came back to France. The 20th century was one of wars between European countries. And after the war, Mitterrand remembered even families of humanity and goodwill who spoke of Germans with animosity, they were prejudiced. Mitterrand's message in his speech was to celebrate those who dared to build a new Europe, not on national prejudice, not on the hatred left by the wars, but on reconciliation and on a common hope for a better future. And he ended his speech saying that we have to overcome our prejudices. If we don't, we will learn a simple rule: nationalism is war. I think this is an important message and indeed an important lesson taught by the 20th century. However, I dare to suggest that there's more to it and more to say about nationalism. We are all part of what has been called an imagined community. Imagined because nobody knows all his fellow countrymen, but nevertheless a community because he still imagines that he has something in common with his countrymen. There are different forms of nationalism. Michael Billing, a British professor of social sciences, has described what he calls banal nationalism. The sort of nationalism that we all practice all the time. We support our sportsmen and women during the Olympic Games. We talk about our football team during the World Cup. In Denmark, we use flags on the birthday cake. In Turkey, there is a flag in every classroom. We talk of our country's national interest. Banal nationalism is harmless. What Mitterrand talks about is extreme nationalism, hot nationalism. That is the dangerous sort of nationalism. The difference is that hot nationalism focuses on what supposedly makes us different from other nations. Banal nationalism focuses on what we have in common with our fellow countrymen. Banal nationalism is not a problem, it's even a good thing, an asset. First, it provides us with an identity. It provides us with a feeling of belonging somewhere. Second, it gives us a feeling of being equals. When I think of myself as a Dane, part of a Danish nation, I think of myself and my countrymen as equals. I am not a subject. Some Danes may be rich, some poor, but as countrymen we have equal rights, legally and politically. We, the people. Thirdly, banal nationalism gives me a willingness to sacrifice, not necessarily my life for my country, but to sacrifice my money, to pay taxes, to help my countrymen in need. I would suggest that a welfare state is not possible without nationalism. But what about immigrants, you may object? Will a feeling of nationalism not exclude immigrants? My answer will be no, not necessarily. It depends on how you define a nation. Some think that you are born into a nation, that your parents have to speak the language, and that your government has the right to decide that you belong to a specific nation. I don't agree. A learned Frenchman from Brittany, by the way, Ernest Renan, said many years ago that nations are flexible. You decide yourself. A nation is a daily plebiscite. You can change. You may be born British, then go to Turkey and be a Turk. You may feel German at one point of your life and later on European. What matters is what you feel yourself. If you learn the language and identify with a new nation, you are a member of that nation, if you say so yourself. Nobody has the right to decide except yourself. If David feels a Turk, he is a Turk. So, in my opinion, banal nationalism is not dangerous. It's a natural thing to feel that you are part of a group. It's even a good thing. It's the basis of political rights and the welfare state. And then I have a last point. If you deny the existence of nationalism, it may get dangerous. If you are so afraid of nationalism, hot nationalism that is, that you repress all sorts of nationalism, even the banal forms, there will be problems. Repressed nationalism will pop up as extremism and terrorism. There are plenty of examples. Let us take the Danish kingdom as an example. Greenland and the Faroe Islands are part of the Danish kingdom, but they are clearly separate nations. There is a Greenlandic nation. There is a Faroese nation. Nobody has the right to deny it or to repress it. If they want home rule, so be it. If they want independence, so be it, in my opinion. Because if you try to repress banal nationalism, you will discover a simple rule. Totally repressing nationalism leads to extremism. And now I think you should see François Mitterrand in the European Parliament. Thanks.